All right, so in this video, we're continuing on with our agent. We have yet to delete it. We have yet to delete our knowledge base. So we have a lot kicking around here. And in the last video, we did just set this up here. I was trying to figure out why is this not part of agents? It seems like it should be, but maybe there's two separate teams working on two separate things, and that's why we have some overlapping features, but obviously the agents are in there. Because the thing is, like, when you're using prompt flow, you can set up conditional nodes, right? And from there, you could call a Lambda function, which is basically the same thing as tool use. And so this is where it gets a little bit confusing. But I guess the idea is that there are agents that have agentic workflows or agentic coding. They have agency to go do things. And then there's workflows where this will literally just pass it to the next thing, and then you have to interpret it or the next agent interprets it, right? So let's get this started and see what we can do. So here we have a flow input, which is our document. And I imagine that that's going to be our inputted information, and then we're going to want to place this into the input text here. Now there's prompt attributes. I'm not sure what we want to set here. There's also session attributes. But for now, I'm not really worried about that. And so the idea is that we might want this to flow out as the response here. And so this would be the most simple example of this here. It says here has been added to your nodes, etc., etc. So I'm not exactly sure what it's saying there. And it's saying must satisfy regular expression. Again, not sure if that's actual real problem here. One valid error detected. Agent alias ARN failed to satisfy constraints. Okay. And I guess the thing is, like, I guess I didn't set one here and just say, restaurant agent like that. And then we also have to drop down here, I guess, select its alias. And it looks like we have, our string here and our inputs. So I'm going to leave this stuff alone as, so we have the input text here and just saying, like, what is it mapping to? Okay, that makes sense. So we'll go ahead and save that. And so now it should save. Good. And I think there's a way that we can test this because it looked like, here it is on the right-hand side. We can go test our flow. So what do you have for the adult menu? And so this will go out and hit the knowledge base and all the other stuff here, right? But let's see how this works. It'd be cool if it highlighted as it went. I'm not sure if it'll do that. Again, this is in a preview state, so that's kind of suggesting that it could be broken. So the adult menu at this restaurant includes the following items. Great, and so that worked out perfectly fine. So now imagine we want to do something here. Maybe we want to modify it before it goes to the end here. And so here we do have Lex. Lex isn't that speech? Amazon Lex. Oh, it's a conversational chatbot. Okay, so, imagine that, like, Lex could be used to say, like, that could be for basic Q&A, and so that could be utilized for that. And so maybe you would want to query that database if you already had it. But I'm just trying to think of, like, what we could do here. We could try to add another agent. It's not like, oh, we have prompts. Maybe that's just like an LLM. Let's see if we drag that out. What do we get here? Prompt, it depends. What the heck is that? Oh, that's from prompt management. Okay, so let's go over to prompt management for a moment. We haven't really used it yet. And so this prompt from prompt management, the way it works is it's a prompt that the idea is that it always summarizes a conversation as it depends and is not cooperative. So that's something that is in that over there. So that's kind of interesting. I'm not sure how I would utilize this here, to be honest, because I guess that would be an existing prompt template. Okay, so I guess, we could try to use this. So let's go create a prompt template. And I want to go ahead and just disconnect this here. And in here, we might want to bring our input into this. But for that to work, we need to go and change this. So I'm going to go over to our prompt management here. I'm going to make a new one called restaurant. I can't spell restaurant, obviously. We're not trying to do anything serious here. We're just trying to utilize prompt flow to do anything restaurant customer prompt. And we'll go ahead and create this here. And so the idea is that we have test variables down below. And I would think that there'd be some way, so like, what is on the blank menu? Right? And the idea is that we have topic down below here. I'm going to go ahead and save this, save draft. We'll create version. It'll be version 1. And so now I'm going to go down back over to our agent, wherever that is. We already had it open here. I guess we closed it, so we'll click back into it. And we'll edit this. And so what I want to do is now try to bring in that node. So bring in prompts. And we'll say this one here with this version. No associated model is associated with the prompt. Select a model to generate a response. Oh, okay. So I was thinking that this would just be a way of modifying your prompt before you pass it along. But here it's suggesting that you'd actually have to supply a model. Okay, so that's not exactly what I was expecting. But you see the input is the topic. And so I was thinking like what you do is you'd go here first. You click off on here, right? Can this be, yep, there we go. And then you'd go into here first and then go into here, right? But here it's expecting a model. So I'm wondering if we can just save that and not associate it with a with one here. Because all I wanted to do is pass along. So if here I say children or adult or dinner, let's say dinner. Doesn't include a model. Okay, so that's not how I thought the prompt manager would work, but that's totally fine. So what we'll do is we won't use it in this part because it doesn't really make sense to do that, right? So I'm going to go ahead here, and I thought like we could just use it as a means to modify our template, but that's not the case. So let's go back over to our prompt management, and I'm going to go edit this one here. We'll delete this prompt actually. We'll say confirm delete. And I'm going to go make a new one and just say restaurant prompt format. And we'll just say here, take the following content and format it into a bulleted list. Okay, and then we'll select a model and we'll choose something like haiku. And that one can do that there. I don't need to run it. It's pretty straightforward what it's doing here. We'll create a version here. And then we'll go back over to prompt flows. We'll click into here. And we'll edit this here. And so instead of having this here, we'll actually edit our output. So we'll zoom in. Right? And we'll just take this out here like that one. It's very hard to get these out. There we go. And so what I'll do is string this to here instead. And we'll bring this over here. And so now we'll go here to here. And then this one will go here to here. Okay? So now we have this kind of flow here, which is totally fine. We're going to go ahead and save this. I'm not sure if it's saved. But let's go ahead and test this. So let's say, I want to know what is on the dinner menu. Let's see if it can do that. Oh, you know, we probably didn't configure this properly. Let's go back over to here. This one is using this one. There we go. And this uses version 1. That's going to fix that problem there. We'll save. And that's saved. Okay, we'll give it a moment. Based on the search results, the following is included in the following. And so it looks like it's doing what we asked it to do. And what's interesting is like we have this here. It seems like we can almost modify it. Can we? No, we can't. Though it makes it a text box, which is really confusing. I don't know why they do that. I did not want to get rid of that. Let's go back to here. We already saved the prompt flow, so I'll just click back. And we'll click back into our prompt flow here, and I'll go back to Prompt Manager. And what we'll do here is go back into this one, and we'll edit this prompt. Okay, and we'll say, take the following content and format into a bullet list, but maybe we want to do something else like take the following content and summarize to use the least amount of words. As HTML or as XML. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do that, and we will create a version of that. And so hopefully this is version 2. Let's compare our variants. I was thinking like versions, actually, never mind. But anyway, we'll go back over to prompt flows. Prompt flows here. And we'll edit this here. And so this should be the same thing. So what is on the dinner menu? It should just know that it's changed. Actually, it wouldn't, because we'd have to change this to version 2. And we'll save that. And so now we'll run this. What's cool is that you could have multiple versions and maybe you just like bridge between them. Okay, it'd be nice if it showed us it updating in real time, but it doesn't do that. And so now we're getting back XML because that's what we asked it to do, right? It's doing a very good job of it. We have, what is this, a collector? What is that? Collects data from an iterator node to create and transform an array of items in a map loop. Okay, so it seems like it can collect multiple data. And then we have a condition and an iterator. So I'm not exactly sure what we'd want to use those for right now. I'm also not sure how we delete nodes. There's one. But like, could we set up a conditional? So condition. How do we tell it what the condition is? Oh, so literally would it just be number, string, false? So if the condition is false or true or number like 1, 2, 3, or 4, then it could route it. So I guess like the way this would work is that it would have to, you'd have to tell the prompt to only return a single value, right? That's the only way this would work, right? You'd have to say, give it this particular format, and then it would go out, and then maybe you could do that. So yeah, you kind of get the idea of how this works. It's not that confusing in terms of how this would integrate. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it just depends on what you want to do. But yeah, that's prompt flow for you there. I think we are done with prompt flow. The only other interesting thing would be like testing out prompt manager, but it seems like you can only have one output. Can you have, oh, you can have more than one. Okay. Well, how would that work if you had more than one output? That's what I would like to know. So maybe what we could do here is, so maybe we could like split this off into multiple ones. It's iterator. Yeah, and so that's a curious question. Like, could you have more than one output? I don't know. And if you did, like, how would that even work? Because like you open this up, how would it represent those two? So this would take a lot more work to play around with, but you get the idea of it. And so we're going to consider this done. In the next video, we're going to do a cleanup video, and then we'll get back to our normal stuff here. But yeah, this is prompt flow, and I guess we can just clean it up now. It doesn't really hurt to do that. So we'll go ahead and delete this. And I'm going to go back over into my prompt manager here. We'll just go ahead and delete any prompts we have. I don't think they cost anything, at least at this point. In the future, they might, because it's still in preview, right? Okay, and I will see you in the next one, which is just a cleanup video.